I think it's universally known Alabama's running game is broken, but can it be fixed this year?
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel, and we'll talk about FanDuel in just a little bit. I want to thank you every day for being here every day. Thank you, newbies, for being here today, and thanks to everybody for making this your first listen every single day. Please like and subscribe to the show. It's just, it's like ding ding. It's like all you gotta do is click it. It's not a big deal. Don't be like that. We love you. You guys are the literal best. So, Jimmy, we were talking during the off week. It's always a little like, okay, what's all going on here? This off week's different because we're going to get into the coaching stuff later. This stuff's just wild and woolly, man. I don't know what's going to happen. It all affects Alabama, though, by proxy. But the running game, it's a problem. You and I were on another show last night and talking about it. And I don't really know what to do with it. You feel like, okay, we've fallen into a nice hierarchy. It's Jan Miller, who is he's the elder statesman. He's the soul of this team. We believe that, at least I do. I think you do too. Then now it used to be that Kevin Riley came in and he was your change of pace back. And we weren't really sure that what he was just yet because he wasn't exactly bursting through holes and breaking off 70-yard runs. But he's a good receiver. But now Daniel Hill has moved up the ranks. I think he's clearly number two, almost number one. This is sort of like Jan Miller's number one because I think he's earned it. He deserves respect that way. But I think Daniel Hill is more of a threat. He's not maybe as good a protector. He missed a couple of blocks against South Carolina, but he's certainly more of a threat to make a big play happen. So we've come to we've settled into some roles, but it's still not going great. But do we need to fix it in the traditional sense when you can do stuff like have Daniel Hill be your leading receiver?
Well, I think the answer to this question is a little complicated. I don't think the Alabama run game is going to be fixed in the sense that if we're all waiting for the day that Alabama is going to rush for 200 yards plus against a quality opponent, I just don't think that day is coming. I think the ship has left the port, in terms of that happening. But I would also argue it doesn't have to happen for the team to have a lot of success, because I think the run game can improve. All we need it to improve is to this point, for defense to take it seriously, for defenses to not to worry. They're not going to worry about Alabama's run game, but for defenses to take it seriously, because you can't put the entire thing on Ty. You can't say, Ty, we're going to stop running the ball. It's not working. We're just going to throw it. That's going to give us 15 to 18 more throws, 20 more throws. You're just putting too much on Ty and doing a huge favor to the defense. You can't be entirely one-dimensional. You can be one-dimensional in terms of production, but you cannot be one-dimensional in terms of effort. There has to be a stubborn commitment to running the ball, even if it results in not much forward movement. But hey, even if it's getting 2 yards, that's 2nd and 8. Then it's 3rd and 6. I'll take 3rd and 6 over 3rd and 10 every time. 3rd and 6 gives you the menu is full on 3rd and 6. It's more limited on 3rd and 10, and everybody in the stadium knows what's coming. I think Alabama's run game can improve to the point that defenses are taking it seriously, that they're still committing resources to defending the run. That will make life easier on Ty and the receivers, because Ty and the receivers are the ones that have to win the football games.
I think that is very fair. I also think that it is odd that our play action system is working so well considering we don't have a run game. Like, what are they scared of? I mean, it's almost as if teams can't get out of their heads that, hey, Alabama traditionally, they got dudes at running back or they have a running quarterback like Jalen Milroe, and we got to always watch the run. We got to watch it. We got to watch it. And then our play action just seems to work really well. If I were a defensive coordinator, I would say no matter how well or how much it looks like Ty Simpson handed that ball off, you stay home. You stay home. Don't trail anything. You stay where you're supposed to be. I mean, I would run that into the ground because I think if teams were to do that, it would put a crimp in our style.
Yeah, I think one thing that's hurting us right now in terms of production, Luke, and by the way, that's a great point, and I agree. On play action, Ty Simpson's been great, and it's in part because he sells that run, and the safeties and the linebackers take a false step, forward to defend something that's not there, and it works well despite the fact Alabama don't run the ball. But I guess the explanation is because Alabama does run the ball. They do run the ball. They try to run the ball even between the tackles when it's not working, and I think that's why the play action works. But I think Alabama needs to be careful down the stretch. This could bite us in one game. I'm not going to be shocked if Alabama loses one of these three games, whether it's LSU, Oklahoma, or Auburn. I'm not going to be shocked. And I think one of the reasons could be this. I think the offense could be hemming itself into a little box where they're not running the ball effectively. So that little short area in the tackle box doesn't need to be defended because they're not running the ball effectively at all. And they're not effective in going over the top. So there's only one area of the field that needs to be defended, the short to intermediate area, which is where Ty has been a Viking. Ty is fantastic and very accurate and very deadly in the short to intermediate area. Ironically, in 2024, Alabama was very good with quarterback runs and very good with the deep ball and terrible in the short to intermediate. This year has been a complete flip where there's no real danger to the Alabama run game or the deep ball, but all the danger is in the middle of the field. I'm just saying you become easier to defend. You become easier to defend. So if Alabama in this off week can work on its run game and the deep ball, the offense is going to be extremely difficult to defend. But if all you can do is that short to intermediate stuff, you're doing somebody like Venables at Oklahoma, who's kind of a defensive genius. You're doing him a big favor. Baker at LSU is a good defensive coordinator. Durkin at Auburn, we know is a good defensive coordinator. You're doing them favors when you're only really attacking one area of the field.
Yeah. Did you see the Oklahoma video out there where Venables and crew, they apparently knew what Ole Miss was about to do on a receiver screen, and they have a linebacker. He's literally got his hands on his knees looking at the quarterback before the snap. As soon as the ball is snapped, he almost stands completely upright and turns like a robot. It is very bizarre. He turns like a robot because he knows they're about to throw the ball to this guy right here. And soon as the quarterback reaches the end of his drop, which was like a 3-step drop, that guy fires like he's out of a cannon straight for an area, and he hits the receiver as soon as he catches the ball. Right. It is wild. I don't know if you've seen it. It's making the rounds everywhere. But
I'm going to look for it today because that sounds fascinating to me. Let's be honest about what Venables is. I'm going to riff off of what Lane Kiffin said about Venables last week. Lane Kiffin basically told everybody in the world Venables has your signs, that he had Auburn signs. People, I think, because of the Connor Stallions thing, immediately want to ascribe some sort of bad acting to that or bad conduct. It's not. You're free to steal the other team's signs. What you can't do is send spies to do it, and you can't train a camera on the other team's signals. So all you're doing is studying signals on tape. You're not supposed to do that. I think probably some teams do, but I'm not saying Venables does that. I'm just saying through one methodology or another, Oklahoma seems to know what's coming. They seem to know what's coming. And if you watch the Alabama-Oklahoma tape last year, they knew what was coming, whether it was the signals whether it was a tell from Milrow, because Venables is going to be a genius at picking up stuff like that, but they seem to know what's coming. So you've got to be creative. Leave it to Lane Kiffin, who's as good as there is in the business, that I'm worried they have our signals or they know what we're doing. So we've got to radically change things up before we play them and be unpredictable. And it worked to the point that Ole Miss scored a lot of points and won the game. That's why Lane Kiffin is at the top of the wish list for multiple elite programs right now. I think Ryan Grubb and Alabama need to take a lesson from Lane Kiffin there and assume going in they know the signals or they know what play's coming because they've got some tells and they're just the best in the business at it. So you got to change it up the week of that Oklahoma game. And by the way, the off week might be a good time to work on that. You don't want to spend time working necessarily in Oklahoma because I don't like the signal that sends to the team about LSU, next. But you can work on what we plan to change for Oklahoma because, again, I mean, if they know what's coming, imagine how easier it is to hit a baseball when you know what pitch is coming, whether it's a fastball, whether it's a breaking ball, whether it's a changeup. Football's the same way. If you know what play's coming, heck of a lot easier to run your defense.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That said, if it's thrown at 95 miles an hour, I ain't hitting it any dang way. You can tell me when it's coming, how it's coming, whatever.
You can throw a pass to Ryan, but tackling him is if they know you're throwing to Ryan's one thing, but once he catches it, you got to tackle him.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Let's talk a little Mazda now. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS Top Safety Plus Picks awards than anyone else as of August 2025. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings the same intention to how they craft every single model of their cars. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but everyday drives, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. Like Bama players, Mazda sweats the details every day, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, as move and be moved. We're going to talk about some juniors with some decisions to make after this season, but I did want to throw this up there. There's a graphic. I think it came from the first round. I don't know if you can see it great on YouTube, but it is. Can you see it okay?
Did you say it came from the first round? You mean the next round?
The next round. Not the first round, next round. The first round comes on before the next round, I think.
There's a show called First Round. I think I want to watch it.
Yeah. But if you can see it enough, Alabama's strength of schedule is 4, Georgia's is 8th, Ohio State's is 34th, and of course Indiana's is 42nd. And Texas A&M's is 14. So all the SEC teams have a good strength of schedule. And Alabama's beating 4 ranked teams, and everybody else beating either 1 or 2 or none in some cases. I mean, it's so bothersome to me because there's still folks. There was a guy, a Big Ten guy, that tweeted out something like, okay, I think it was the Bear, Chris Felica, right?
Yeah, Chris Felica.
He tweeted out something like, here are the records, the SEC records of teams the last 2 years in the SEC. And I think it was Texas was 10-2, Bama and Georgia 10-3, whatever, or Texas was 11-2, something. Well, some Big Ten guy was being a little snarky and said, boy, I thought the SEC was this gauntlet. How is Texas coming there, who's only won 1 Big 12 title since 2010? How do they come in there and go 10-2 or 11-2? And somebody said, okay, now do Oklahoma. They've won more Big 12 championships than Texas, and they've come in and basically gotten their hat handed to them most every week.
Yeah, it's the schedule. It's the schedule that explains Oklahoma and Texas to me. I don't think they're too different in terms of football teams. But, hey, Texas has also been I don't know how many times when they were in the Big 12, they were one of the top 4 teams in the country, but Texas has finished in the top 4 2 years in a row before entering this year. And again, I would caution anyone who's burying Texas a little early. I agree that it's been a mess for them to this point, but they're still hanging around. And this Vanderbilt game, to me, is about the most intriguing game on the schedule all year to this date, especially with the fact that Matthew Caldwell may end up being Texas quarterback. which is really interesting. He's from Alabama. He's from Auburn High School in Alabama and played at Troy last year, and now is about to be on a pretty big stage Saturday morning. But regardless of that, those are interesting numbers.
We'll get into the predictions later this week, but are you surprised it's not KJ Lacey over Matthew Caldwell?
No. I think Matthew Caldwell is a fifth-year senior. He's about 23, 24 years old. He's got starting experience. KJ's still a true freshman. I also think KJ, and I'm a big KJ Lacey fan, I think he's one of these guys you kind of have to build it around him. I don't think you can just stick him out there and run the Arch Manning offense with KJ. I think KJ is uniquely gifted, and you got to kind of build it around KJ.
I hear you. Okay, fair enough. And here's the other thing. Texas still is in the playoff hunt, whether or not anybody really wants to truly believe that they are. So if you're Texas, you're like, this isn't the year to try and throw a true freshman out there to see where things stick.
No, they're in the playoff hunt. By the way, Caldwell's thrown very few passes this year. A lot of them have been kind of impressive, like the game-winning play against Mississippi State just last week. Looked pretty good. Now, it's just that's
the non-touchdown touchdown.
Way too small of a sample size. Way too small of a sample size to make any sort of grand sweeping conclusions. But hey, Texas's backs are both healthy for the first time, I think, probably all year. I think that's going to be a factor against Vanderbilt. And just the fact that I heard Josh Pate say this, so I don't want anybody to say, oh, you just got that from Josh Pate. But, I mean, I've agreed with this anyway. I think when you know the backup quarterback's playing, a lot of teams improve everywhere. Because the DB group, the linebacker, okay, we don't have the quarterback. Everybody's got to step up. And I think that sometimes happens with backup quarterbacks because, again, quarterbacks get too much credit and too much blame. If Texas beats Vanderbilt, some people are going to say, oh, well, they finally started the right guy quarterback. Maybe. But I would also say, well, what's everybody doing around him? And having the two healthy backs is something that Arch hasn't had. And by the way, Film Guy did a great breakdown of Arch versus Mississippi State. It was pretty impressive stuff. Encourage people to watch that, especially the Arch critics. The Film Guy raving about Arch and having next level ability.
It's going to be tough for him to overcome the narrative about him right now, but that's right. Now for another discussion.
That's a great point.
So let's talk about juniors with some decisions. I mean, the easy one to talk about is Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not really a junior. I guess he's a redshirt junior. But I mean, he's been on campus a long time. But here's the thing. I mean, I've seen some people talk about how much he loves Alabama and, you know, there's a chance he could come. There's always a chance he could come back. But I'll say this. I mean, right now, midway through the season, he's probably the Heisman Trophy winner. Now, a lot can change. He's probably leading Alabama into the playoffs. He's probably leading Alabama to at least an SEC championship game appearance. I would have a hard time believing he would be coming back. I would have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, I think he's got a really interesting decision here because I think the normal factors that guide this decision might not be as relevant with him. And I also think that maybe as fans, we haven't all changed our mindset like we need to about how NIL and rev share affects these things. It used to be that like, okay, do I want to still be broke and stay in college or do I want to get rich? Well, Ty's getting pretty rich, you know, right now, you know, at Alabama. It's different. It's a different type of decision that needs to be made now. I agree with Luke that I think the projections and the logic says he comes out because as of this moment, it certainly appears he's a first-round pick, and first-round picks should all leave. I'm just not sure he will, and this is why. NIL and rev share, he ain't broke. He's probably making more money than his dad, who's the head college football coach. Think of that. Ty's probably making more money than his dad, who's a head football coach at a college. I think Ty loves Alabama. That's apparent to everyone. And he just now became the starter. I won't be surprised if he's like, I'm having too much fun doing what I want to do. There's also some sentiment from some smart people that say one season as a starter isn't enough. You're not coming into the NFL ready. You haven't played enough. That I agree with a lot of those takes because some guys like Anthony Richardson didn't play enough college football games.
Who's the analyst that says you need 25 games in college started?
Bill Parcells
Okay,
says
that's right.
that. So even better, one of the great football minds of all time. So I don't rule out Ty returning at all. I'm not trying to be Homer optimistic because heck, I'm going to be excited about the Austin Mack Keelan Russell battle if Ty leaves. So I'm not. I don't think Alabama must have Ty back. Now, ideally, Ty comes back because he would be considered the best quarterback in all of college football if he comes back to play. But I don't think this is a slam dunk decision. I think many people will see him projected in mock after mock in the first round, and they think this is an easy decision. I bet it's not an easy for him at all. I could easily see the agent and the dad and the family going, Ty, got to come out. And Ty going, but I don't want to. I mean, I think it's going to be.
Again, with the money, you don't have to. I mean, it's more money in the pros. There's no doubt.
Yes.
There's more fame. There's more everything. And weirdly, like I went through several mock drafts yesterday, and most of them have him going to the Rams, sort of being the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford. I thought that, it was wild how so many of them had him going to the Rams.
Hey, let me ask you this question. This is probably too silly of an analogy, but about college versus NFL. If I said, Luke, this weekend, Alabama's playing at home against LSU. The Falcons are at home against the Panthers. What game are you going to go to? What game are you choosing to go to?
I'm going to LSU, Bama. No
okay.
doubt.
What if I said I want you to go to the NFL game, but I'll give you $500?
I'd probably still go Bama LSU.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. You don't.
I like $500.
But you don't need the $500. You want to do what you want to do, right? Now, a lot of people listening, they're going to go to the NFL game, take the free money, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying we get to do what we want to do. Guess who else gets to do what he wants to do? Ty Simpson, who makes more money than Jimmy and Luke, by the way.
Yeah, unbelievably. But so he doesn't work any harder than us. Luke said sarcastically.
This show takes 30 minutes a day.
Yeah. We got to talk about some more juniors here in a second. We also got to talk about some other coaching stuff that's just out there. It's funky monkey stuff out there. But right now, I'm going to talk about Peloton because it's awesome. And there's my little thing for it. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with brand new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you stay on plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. I love how the new Peloton IQ system offers real-time strength coaching. That is cool. The swivel screen is also a game changer. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. That is ONE Peloton.com. Go check it out for that Jimmy Stein guarantee.
I guarantee I need to be on Peloton.
We are the epitome of the before pictures of all these workout things.
My wife's car needed gas, so I got up at 6 this morning to take her car up to get gas while she was getting ready to go to work, and a storm had to have been one of the outer, what do they call that? The outer edges of that hurricane that destroyed Jamaica last night. Was in Fairhope this morning. Had to have been that. I mean, it was sideways rain. I mean, literally, when it rains as hard as it can possibly rain and the wind's blowing 40 miles an hour, I just got soaked. So the hair, I'm just a mess.
Man,
and
seriously.
At 6 a.m. when it's still dark outside, it's just not a good start to the day.
No, it sounds cliche and almost like not real, but I'm seriously. Prayers up for Jamaica because that looked awful.
That's terrible.
It's kind of hard to believe that play.
The pictures today are going to be, because we haven't seen them yet, but I'm sure the pictures today are going to be very, very sad.
Can I tell a quick story and not tick off our listeners? I hope they're nodding affirmatively. But so I may or may not have had a very close relative and his wife, who is also very close to me, go to Jamaica many moons ago before I was born. And they may have gone to Jamaica and they may have said, the stuff ain't legal in the States, but it is legal here. And they didn't know how much things cost. So this person may or may not have given a guy a $20 bill, US, early 70s, and said, "Bring me back your best stuff." That guy brought back a hefty sack full of Mary Jane, and before anybody could do anything with it.
That'd probably be like $100 worth today,
And,
right?
oh God, it'd be. I mean, in Jamaica,
In Jamaica.
20 American dollars in the early 70s, it'd be like $1,000 worth. So,
I'm not sure that math is right, but okay.
I know, plus or minus. For the story's sake, it's better. But this person's wife, who also is very close to me, may or may not have said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did this." And then she may or may not have thrown all their luggage and clothes in the pool to try and get the smell off. All of that may or may not have happened to somebody very close to me, regardless. All right. So let's talk. I want to talk about the juniors thing a little bit more because, okay, if Ty Simpson is the number one junior, we're all eyes on him. I'm going to say this though, and I would love for Ty to come back because I'd love to see him break some records. I'd love to see him do some big things, and I think he's got a lot more statistics in him. I think he's got a lot more numbers in him. This year, there's been some feeling out, but next year, man, you think about next year. I think Isaiah Horton will be back.
Yeah, I think too many people. I've heard somebody say the other day, "Well, Horton's leaving." Horton has like 200 yards receiving. I mean, I don't. I think some juniors that we thought before the season might definitely go haven't had the seasons to justify the decision. In my opinion, I think Horton should come back. I think James Smith and Quay Russo should come back.
I was getting to them, and then Ryan Williams definitely back.
Ryan Williams definitely back.
Rico Scott,
Jeremy's out of eligibility.
Rico Scott is Jeremy's out, but
back
Rico
for
Scott
sure. Back for sure. And of course, I don't know that he's draft eligible, but or is he a redshirt sophomore? No, he's just redshirt freshman.
Well, I'm just saying he's back.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back.
And then you bring in somebody like a Sedarian Morgan, who I can tell you right now,
he's going to play
pretty doggone good. Yeah, I'm telling you,
he's going
to be surprised how good he is.
Lottie Brooks back. I mean,
Lottie Brooks.
So I think Zay Horton should and will return. I think James Smith and Quay Russo should and will return. Here's an interesting case that I think similar to Ty, Bray Hubbard.
I was going to say Parker Brailsford.
I think Parker's likely to leave. I don't want him to leave. I wish he'd stay. I don't know what Parker Brailsford has to gain by coming back. The knock on him is a little bit. There will be a knock on him that probably keep him out of round one, which will be his size. Guess what? He ain't going to fix that.
Well, centers don't go round one generally.
Centers don't go round one anyway, and he ain't going to fix the size from year 4 to year 5. I mean, he might add 5 pounds, but I mean, I don't see what Brailsford would have to gain by coming back. Proctor could gain a lot by coming back. That's an interesting decision too. I think he's going to be a first-round pick, and I think it would do a lot of good for him to come back and make a run at the top of the draft because he committed a full year to strength and conditioning, finally healthy. To give it he's never participated in spring practice.
Yeah.
Finally give a full healthy year. I think Proctor could make a run at the top of the draft if he came back. But I think he's likely to leave as just a projected first round pick. Bray Hubbard, I would say, in my opinion, is a day 2 guy. But he's probably a day 2 guy after 2026 also. A little bit. I think he's got the Parker Brailsford decision. I mean, in the sense that safeties don't go in round 1, maybe 1 guy, maybe 2 guys. And with measurables factored into the mix, I don't know that he's going to be the number 1 safety or the number 2 safety in the draft. But day 2, a lot of money, and then a big investment by the NFL. I think Bray Hubbard will have a difficult decision. I think Keon Sabb will have a difficult decision, though he hasn't had a spectacular year. I mean, I think if he comes out, I mean, I know people hate when I go, he might be day 3 to me. I mean, if he comes out, but I'm just being honest about where I think these guys could go and who should leave. But the only ones I see that should probably leave, Proctor, if you're going in the first round, I get that. That Brailsford, I think, he's been a 3-year starter. He's probably maxed out as good as his stock's going to get. I would get that decision. Ty, I think it'll be like 100% supported if he leaves, 100% understands if he comes back.
Yeah. I think Brailsford is weirdly, I think Brailsford and Russo and Smith are three of the most important. I mean, like those, if I had to choose the three to come back, I mean, I would probably choose those three even over Ty. And here's why, because I'm such a Keelan Russell believer that like I feel like that we can still be really good there. I would love it if Ty came back. He'd be my fourth pick, but I think defensively we would really need Quay and James Smith back, and I think both of them can learn a lot. And I also think Brailsford, just because the leadership on that offensive line, especially if we lose Caden Proctor, which we all think we will. And then when you think about we're losing Quay Russo, we're losing Jeremy Bernard, and you and I have talked about how important those Washington transfers have been to Alabama's success so far. So I'd love to have one more year out of a leader like Parker Brailsford. So
some players need to come back, and I think it's a difference. But I think James Smith and Quay Russo need to come back. I mean, I think they've got a lot more to prove. You got some draft rounds you can climb by coming back, because there's no first round for those guys in this draft. Not what we've seen so far, and Quay hasn't even been healthy. So I think coming back makes all the sense in the world. They're only helping themselves by coming back. I think other guys have more difficult decisions because whether they come back or not, they'd probably be drafted about the same spot.
All right, that's going to do it for today's pod. We'll cover some of that coaching stuff on tomorrow's pod. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.